It is your boy, Dan and Dago, and I am still so hyped the Chargers landing Zion Johnson with their first round pick. Wait. Hold up. Who is this in my ear? Who is this? Is it Gilberto? Oh, Gilberto just told me something very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some breaking news for your favorite program. Zion Johnson, Justin, the God of Lightning Herbert's new bodyguard, will be joining us today here on your favorite program. And the best way to start your hump day, Compas on the beat. Someone hit the big time guest alert, but I shouldn't be surprised because the Compas are always delivering. Call them USPS, UPS, DSL, Hoopla, UPS, whoever I missed. Welcome to the program, Zion. You'll enjoy working with Rashawn Slater. What? Matt Filer. What? And Corey Lindsley. Let's go. But before we get to Zion, we'll hear from Fernando and Gilberto about the Chargers 2022 draft class. They'll break it all down. But first, go subscribe to Compas on the Beat on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, where you'll find other great interviews with Slater, Joey, Big Bear Bosa, Derwin freaking James, and the list goes on and on and on. We got Zion freaking Johnson on this here, your favorite program. Now, it's time for the best damn podcast in the universe. All the way from South Bend, Indiana. Play the music, Nando!
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez, Notre Dame football beat writer for the South Bend Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, mi hermano Gilbert Manzano, OC Register, LA Daily News. What's up, bro? Before you answer, I know what's up. Your feature on Zion Johnson, the Chargers' first-round draft pick. Great article, great piece. Go check it out. It was like the Miz in WWE says, awesome. Great piece, Gilbert. I just wanted to shout you out before we started because I thought it was a really well put together piece.
I don't know how I feel about so much positivity early on in the show, Fernando. You being so kind and nice to me. It's a little strange that you need to kind of get me going before I accept some kind words from you, but thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a good draft weekend, and I got to know Zion Johnson's family. By the way, shout out to us. We got him on the show.
Yeah,
I'm kind of impressed that he got drafted, and the Chargers were so kind to get him on the show so quickly. So yeah, I got the feature. Now we're doing the video right here. So a nice little combo package for the Chargers first pick.
Yeah, no, that's a shout out to Chargers PR for allowing him to jump on Compas. You know why they're doing it though, Gilbert? It is because of what happened last year. Their first round draft pick went on Compas, ends up becoming an all pro, ends up becoming a pro bowler, ends up becoming that wall that they needed to protect Justin Herbert. So like, you know what? Lightning can strike twice, literally and figuratively. Let's throw him on the Compas again, and let's let Lightning strike twice. So I think that's why they're gonna do it.
I like that thinking, Fernando. You're right. That's why they were a lot quicker this time. Rashawn Slater sat down with us, and we're talking about raising canes and all that. And yeah, he became a bodyguard for Justin Herbert and a Pro Bowler. So yeah,
I still remember when I was like, we actually have breaking news, and like he looks at me. I'm like, some people were trying to get close to Justin when he was walking through the building, and Rashawn was just running them into the water cooler, and he got all hyped and he started going, yeah. I was like throwing them across the building, and I was like, get out of my quarterback's way. So that
maybe
was
you
actually,
can ask Zion about that now.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I plan on doing. And then I challenged Gilbert last week, and our second guest on the show will be none other than Snoop Dogg, right, Gilbert? We got Snoop?
No, but I really forgot about the concert. That's how much That's how much went down in the NFL draft for the weekend from Thursday to what we're recording Tuesday. Uh, it's like a blur, man. I was focusing on the story to story. That yeah, we got Snoop Dogg right away first. So no, I didn't become friends with Snoop Dogg, but he was right in front of me, and it was kind of cool experience. Like at one moment, I'm like, hey, I grew up listening to Snoop Dogg. He was one of my favorite rappers, and I'm right here in front. Like that's kind of cool to be at work. I'm getting paid to watch Snoop Dogg, so yeah, that was pretty awesome. And yeah, Fernando, I think you got my content.
Yo, that is awesome.
Yeah, but
That
now I'm
experience.
wondering when will Twitter take down my video because I have music on it. Hopefully, it's okay.
No, but I think it's because it's the. Well, yeah, I don't know.
I just thought about it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it.
Hey, but it was at a concert. Hopefully that counts. And no, it was a really cool experience, and it was good to see a lot of Chargers fans come out, get a Snoop Dogg concert, and it was actually a very good time for him. I was actually there for the first maybe hour and a half before the draft started. I was actually there for the whole thing, 3:30 to almost 5. And I come out and I see our good friend Adrian Garcia Marquez, the voice of the
Yo,
Chargers.
he looks snazzy.
Yeah, with the jacket. And
Yeah.
actually, Brandon Staley was hanging around and stopped Adrian to say, "Hey, that's a cool jacket."
The
So
video, there's a video that you shot where I saw Adrian sitting next to somebody on the side, and I'm like, who is that next to that guy? Like sitting next to that, I can't remember who was sitting next to him. I'm like, oh my god, that's Adrian. I'm like, wow, like he's all pimped out. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting to see the way Adrian was dressed, and he just looked all snazzy.
yeah, no, he did a great job, and I think he might have been sitting with another good buddy of mine, Louis G,
Louis G.
from the
Louis
radio
G.
out here in LA. Louis G 92.3, the beat. Him and Adrian were hosting, so that was kind of cool seeing some Latino power or puro power, as Adrian says, hosting before Snoop Dogg came on. So yeah, I really forgot, Fernando. So thank you for reminding me. That was a cool experience to kind of soak in before the chaos of the draft.
Oh my god, and it really was kind of chaotic because at the beginning, I mean, obviously the only person that knew what was going to happen was Chris Angel Mind Freak. He was the one that predicted all. Man, I think he was one of the only ones that predicted it. A lot of people had Derek Stingley going 8th, 9th, 10th, and he had him 3rd overall. So that was that was pretty impressive. So hey, and he said before the show, if I get this right, you're kicking Mel Kiper out next year and I'm taking over. And he got it right. So I wonder what ESPN's going to do next year. But Gilbert, you talk about the draft, and it kind of fell the way you and I kind of talked about. Like, yeah, you like you had said, oh, Trent McDuffie. I had said, I think Jameson Williams was gone because of the Lions. The Lions, I was surprised the Lions came up and snatched him up. But it kind of came down to that scenario where you talked about offensive linemen. They end up going Zion Johnson, which, I mean, very good pick, a guard. You need to build up that offensive line. Left side last year was the big side, the nasty side. Right side was a little bit of it had its problems at times, and sometimes it held up. Other times it was just a complete mess. But now you're solidifying. Now you have your right guard there, and I thought it was a very good I thought it was a good draft pick for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think Tom Telesco said it's not sexy, but it's what we needed to protect Justin Herbert. So I like the pick. You can't go wrong with it with the most ready NFL guard in the draft, and Zion Johnson. And yeah, you want to protect Justin Herbert, and now you got a big four of Slater, Filer, Lindsey, and Johnson there. Yeah, you still have some question marks at the right tackle, but I think so far that was a great pick. And I think the one thing that was kind of a surprise, I think a lot of people thought that Zion will go like after the 20th pick. Maybe a good friend from the show, Doug Kyde from Pro Football Focus, had Zion going 21 to the Patriots. Another good friend of mine, Michael Gilkin, had Zion maybe going to the Cowboys at 24. So that was kind of the range. And for Zion to go 17, I think people were a little surprised because also, too, the run on guards was really early Kenyon Green went to the Texans, I think, at 15. So
Yeah.
Zion was saying that he was walking around the green room, and then he's like, "Oh, I got a phone call with the Chargers 17." He was surprised. Who knows if the Chargers try to trade down? Because I think that was a scenario. Like when you want a guard, you kind of trade down to the 20s. But they had a need. The Chargers are on win now mode. They can't wait to develop players. Like that could be the thing with Trevor Penning, the tackle from Northern Iowa. He was actually right there, which was wild to think. But they want somebody right now to play. And I don't think there was more NFL ready guard in the NFL draft than Zion Johnson. So plug and play guy, and I think should be a good pick.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll talk to him in a little bit and get his perspective on everything. Because I mean, I saw so I watched the Chargers video, the 24 hours of Zion, like when he gets drafted and everything. And he said that he had to power walk to walk up to that. They were like, "Hey, hurry, hurry, hurry!" Like he was like, "All I was able to do is hug my mom, and I had to walk up the ramp because I guess it was a really long ramp." Somebody got lost going there. I can't remember what draft pick it was that turned left instead of turning
I
right.
think it was Sauce Gardner, no?
Sauce Gardner, yeah. He started turning left. And so I will talk to him about that. But some of the other picks, one that was very surprising was JT Woods from Baylor, safety. Obviously, in Brandon Staley's scheme, they need the safeties they're very dependent on the safeties. Now, this is my interpretation of it, Gilbert. Obviously, I'm not there anymore, but my interpretation of it is that they need somebody who can secure interceptions. Last year, your boy Nasir Adderley, you picked before the season that he'd have 10 interceptions. He probably could have had 7 or 8 if he would have secured them. He had 0 after the season was over. I think they want somebody who can secure those interceptions, and I feel like JT Woods might be one of those guys that can come down with it, and he's going to make those plays. And I feel like Nas is in a contract year, I think, this year.
Mm-hmm.
Alohi Gilman, I don't know if Alohi's been exactly what the Chargers were hoping for, or not the Chargers, what Staley's hoping for in his defense. So when Derwin's going to go play star money or go all over the field, you're going to need somebody to play back there. And I mean, it might be JT Woods. That's going to be that outfielder, like in baseball, to make sure to secure the catch. I don't know what Brandon Staley and Tom said about the pick.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were thinking that he's going to go after a cornerback, not a safety. But I guess we should start listening to Brandon Staley a little more because he told us a year ago that these DBs are not corners or safety; they're DBs, and I think that's why they drafted JT Woods because he's versatile. He's more kind of a center fielder, free safety kind of guy. But they love that he's could cover. He has coverage skills, and you mentioned it, Fernando. He's a ball hawk. I think he had 9 interceptions in the last 2 years, and he has speed and he's versatile. So I know Brandon was saying like, yeah, they wanted, more corners, but they have guys like Derwin and Nas and now JT Woods who could play in the slot and be coverage guys. So they kind of have a lot of versatility there. And of course, they got JC Jackson, so they're kind of okay there. But it kind of tells me that JT Woods is going to be pushing Nasir Adderley. Nas has shown some flashes, but I don't think enough. So I think competition is healthy for them too, and I'm kind of excited to see them duke it out. But JT Woods, man. All you heard about from Tom and Brandon was a unique skill set. And you start doing your research, like this guy's fast. He's also tall, like 6'2". So yeah, he might start as a safety, but I think they have a full kind of package for him in the future.
So obviously, one of the guys that kind of dropped in the draft a little bit was Isaiah Spiller, running back out of Texas A&M. Chargers end up taking him. He's a little bit of a bigger back. He looks like he's more of a thumper than he is elusive, kind of the opposite of what basically I was going to say Melvin Gordon, what Austin Eckler is. And that's good because I feel like that's the balance that they've been missing. They have a lot of shifty running backs. What they don't have is a big thumper. And now it seems like they may have gotten one after drafting a running back for the 3rd time in the last 3 years. So to me, Isaiah Spiller feels like he's gonna have to compete against obviously Larry Roundtree and against Joshua Kelly. But I feel like he might be the guy that comes in. He's a thumper 4th quarter. When you need to put teams away and exhaust them, you're going to hand him the ball, have him knock guys down, have him tire out a defense. So I feel like that was a really good pickup. It was a much needed pickup. Gilbert, what did they have to say about Spiller?
Yeah, a little bit with the Zion pick. I think he was also the pick because they want to improve in the running game. Like they went too heavy on the left side to the wall there, Slater and Filer, and that didn't help them when the games were tight. So Yeah, they got Zion, but now they need a thumper like you mentioned, and Isaiah Spiller, a big body, got to move the chains when you have the lead or trying to, you're like in this kind of rugged, battle game and down the stretch, and you want to move the chains. You need somebody like that because and Austin Eckler, I like that he's so honest because he's saying I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy to kind of run between the tackles. I'm the shifty, dynamic two-way guy, receiver, catcher, get you the 20 touchdowns in a variety of a way. But they didn't have a short yardage guy, and Spiller has the size. But one thing that stood out to me from Tom Telesco when he spoke to us in the press conference was he's not coming in just to be the number 2 guy to spell Eckler and be the short yardage guy. He wants him to push Austin Eckler and compete for snaps and a workload. So I was like, that shows you how highly they thought about Spiller. And I think DJ Dan Jeremiah said it was one of the best value picks in the draft because a lot of people had him as a third running back in the draft behind Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. So to get him in the 4th round, it's a big get for the Chargers. And yeah, they've struck out. We're not struck out because they got one more strike to go, but they missed out maybe on Joshua Kelly and Larry Roundtree. And they're taking another stab at it because they know their running game is important. And yeah, Justin Herbert is great and all, but you got to help him out too. So I think the Spiller pick was a help.
Yeah, no, definitely. The thing that's going to be interesting about this is obviously they went a little bit deeper and they ended up in the fifth round. Tito Ogbanya. Okay, defensive
Tito.
lineman. Huh?
You got a Tito and a Vato now. I like it.
Tito and a Vato. I don't know how long they're going to be having that Vato though. So Tito, obviously, we talked about it after they made their moves for Austin Johnson and Sebastian Joseph Day. They still needed more, and I still feel like Gilbert, they may need a little bit more at defensive lineman. I think they're going to look at they may look at free agency and maybe bring somebody in, or there's 2 positions, corner and defensive lineman, where I still feel like they could go out and get sign a valuable guy, but he's going to be a good defensive lineman in that rotation and help those guys out. And I feel like you can never go wrong with drafting more offensive linemen, more bodies that can do work. And it seemed like he did some work at UCLA.
Yeah, we like to give our good friend Daniel Popper a hard time for like having his 20 mock drafts and 8,000 players that Chargers could draft. And he's having a hard time because the first couple didn't go his way. And he had a couple towards the end, but I think one of mine, so I'm going to pretend like I'm Daniel Popper. One of mine during my previews was Tito. I threw him in there, and yeah, because he was a UCLA guy, but also I like the potential, like the size and being a run stopper, and then kind of the upside. And I noticed that the Chargers like going for upside guys. So maybe Tito's not ready in 2022, but he has all the upside to be a quality starter. And yeah, you're right. For now, they might need some more guys up top and then interior defensive line, Austin Johnson and Sebastian Joseph Day. But we also forget about Christian Covington. So now they have Tito to kind of help out. So I think they might be okay. It's not the best, but it's better than last year. And I didn't throw in Jared Taylor because I think he's gonna be the 3rd pass rusher.
Yeah. 6th round, Jamari Salyer. Okay, out of Georgia. This was a pick that a lot of people, I thought, really got hyped about, like not fans or anything, and more about the people on TV. They were talking about this pick and they're like, this kid can really do everything. Now, obviously, like the Twitter general manager, Charger Twitter managers, general managers and coaches, first thing tweeted out, well, this could be a move to put Zion at left guard and then this kid at right guard and then throw Matt Filer out at right tackle. Even though it sounds, and it's been sounding like this ever since the season ended for the Chargers, it sounds like they want to keep Matt Filer at left guard no matter what. But fans keep on saying, oh, it feels like they're gonna know that. I really do feel like they really want to keep him at left guard. So I wonder, Gilbert, do you think they're gonna try either Johnson or Salyer at right tackle?
I don't think Jamari or Johnson will be the answer at right tackle. Definitely Zion's gonna be right guard. They already told us that. I knew what it was when Brandon was saying and Tom was saying that Filer could be an option to the right tackle. It was just kind of a smokescreen to say, hey, we're not just staring around.
But they know what they know what they're doing
for the draft.
It's a snowball effect, unfortunately, and people kind of tie their wagon onto that, and now they're like, oh well, Matt Filer at right tackle, and it's like no, there's a reason why they want to keep him at left. Last year it worked. Why would you want to ruin something that worked?
Yeah, like chemistry matters, being comfortable matters. Like you can't just go from one position to another. You can't just ask Filer to do that right away after not playing it for a couple of years.
Exactly.
So I think they like the chemistry, and this is the better route. You're filling out. You're coloring between the lines. You're filling it out. You're kind of going from the left to the right. And Zion was the latest piece. So yeah, they need a right tackle. The one that could have a better chance is maybe Jamari, because he played left tackle at Georgia. He was on the national championship team, shutting down Aiden Hutchinson and the other guy, I always forget his name.
Adobo,
you got it, Fernando. He did great. He's just a little undersized, and I think that's why he dropped in the draft. And I think what the Chargers are going to do, I think they're going to try to. They said they're going to start out at guard for him. He might go through the Brandon Jaimes plan where he doesn't really play much. So Jaimes and Jamar will be depth, and that's what you need, Fernando. You know this team very well. They always have injuries in the O-line, so I like it. You start grooming guys for just in case and for the future, and being tough in the trenches and having depth. That's great for the guard. But yeah, there is going to be question marks at tackle. It's going to be, get ready for the battle between Storm and Trey Pipkins, round 2.
There's no way. They have to have a plan for that too. There's no way it's going to be either one of them. Like,
we always say there's a plan, and there ever is a plan for now. You know it's going to be that.
Oh God!
You see it. You see a June signing from, or a trade or something.
Max Crosby is like, honestly, probably so hyped right now if he hears that Storm Norton is gonna play right tackle, because yeah, he's gonna be too hyped. Let's just quickly go through the last 3. Obviously, the 7th round pick of Xander Horvath from Purdue. That sounds like a special teams addition. No, it does. Like,
it sounds like a special teams name.
Well, yeah, but
you're right.
The 2 cornerbacks, Jazir Taylor and Dion Leonard. What did they say about them? Those were interesting selections.
Yeah, definitely the last 2 guys, Dean Leonard and Xander, the fullback, are more special teams kind of minded. Obviously Xander could push their current fullback, Gabe Neighbors, roommate of Justin Herbert.
That's
right. They moved out. I forgot.
Yeah.
And Dean was a Canadian football player, so he's from Calgary. But I think it's gonna be more special teams, try to crack it there, because they had so many picks, so they're looking in that direction. But Jazier, I'm forgetting the last name. I don't know if you had it in front of you, but from Wake Forest, a cornerback.
Taylor.
They like some of his athleticism. Doesn't have the size.
He could be a returner, right?
Yes, he had the I think that was a kick return touchdown. So he has some speed. So maybe he could be a returner and help out on special teams that way. But I'm not sure about his future in the rotation yet for DBs. But the last 3 guys will definitely contribute on special teams.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty interesting. But Gilbert, we can't keep this anymore. We got to head over to that interview with Zion and see what. Let's talk to him, and I want to talk more about cybersecurity, Elon Musk. I want to talk about more stuff. So let's get over to that interview. We like to work fast here on Compas on the Beat. Once we saw Justin Herbert had a new bodyguard, we knew we had to get this very special guest on the show. We're of course talking about Zion Johnson, the Chargers' first-round draft pick of the 2022 NFL draft. Zion, welcome to Compas. How are you, and how's life going since joining the Chargers?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here, and it's been an amazing experience. It's been a whirlwind. I kind of talked about my experience on draft day, but since then, I've been out to LA. I got to see the facility, and I saw SoFi Stadium, and it was just great to meet all the coaches, meet all the people I talked to over the phone, and just experience LA for the first time in my life.
Zion, I think when I spoke to you at the Chargers press conference, you were saying you got like 1,000 texts saying congrats, and you couldn't get to all of them. You left some on red maybe, or you did a like at least, or a heart. Did you respond to all these texts, or what happened?
I'm very selective with who has my number. So everybody who texts me, I know them personally. So I respond to everybody.
Okay, so you're done with that. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I caught up. I made sure.
Okay. How about he met some teammates yet, or not too much?
I got texts from a few teammates just reaching out saying, congratulations on being drafted, and we're welcome to have you, and I'm just excited to finally meet them, in the coming weeks when I get down there and, really put I say face to a name, but, I kind of know what they look like from TV and all that. But, it's different when you get to meet a person actually. So.
Okay, and now that I think about it, Zion, you're telling us a story about how the bus driver got you to play football as a junior in high school, Riverdale Baptist, and people are wondering who's this mystery bus driver. And I started talking to some of your high school coaches. I spoke to your mom for a story, and I think the word was traveling around church, and people were trying to figure out who is this mystery bus driver. And I think you got a hold of him, Hank Lloyd.
Yep.
On Sunday, you called him. That's what I heard.
Yep.
How did that phone call turn out for you to maybe credit this or give him a shout out for this bus driver?
It was good because I remember when he was my bus driver. He always looked out. He was someone who, even like if something were to happen and like the buses were down, he would try to fight his hardest to make sure he could pick up all the kids because he was a coach too. He coached baseball and basketball for a little bit, so he was big into sports. So I think just him being around sports for a long time, he saw that I played golf and saw that even though I wasn't that big. I had big hands and a pretty big lower body at that time. So he was like, all right, well, you should try out and play football. And he was really the first person who told me that. And after that, it took some time of me thinking, talking with my mom about it. And, I talked about how my mom really, she really pushed me into doing it. And, I'm really thankful to her for that because, I love the game and I love it now. And if I had never, tried out, never played on the team, that would be a sad reality, I'd say.
I think Charger fans and Justin Herbert are very thankful to that bus driver that he got you to play football because now you're protecting him. But Zion, I'm fascinated by you because of what you decided to choose as your career path, which is cybersecurity. 15 years from now, when your football career is over, is that something you want to jump into? Are we going to get Elon Musk on the phone and talk to him and try and get him to get us a job, or what are you thinking?
Oh, I can say possibly because that's definitely an interest of mine, but I never know. Down the road I could end up coaching or doing something in the sports realm, but that's definitely something that's an interest of mine and could be a possibility.
Zion, when you were describing cybersecurity in that presser, all I could think about was the show Ozark. I don't know if you watch it on Netflix and money laundering and stuff like that. Is that kind of what you're doing, like preventing people like Marty Bird from washing money for the cartel?
I haven't really seen Ozark. I saw like the first few episodes and then I stopped. I'm more of like an NCIS type of guy, but uh not particularly. It's more so from what I've studied, there's been a lot of different sections. Like there's the risk side of things where you're basically calculating risk of different threat actors, stealing information or hijacking or doing different things to your company. Um, there's the compliance side, which is more so talking about like the cybersecurity laws that each country has. Like I know in Europe they have a lot more specific cybersecurity laws than we do here. So like those sort of things, and then there's the actual uh, like threat defense side of things where you're actually like on the front lines, um, you know, finding hackers, tracing where they are, and actually using your offensive capabilities to stop them. So there's like a broad range of things that fit under cybersecurity. But the money laundering side of things, I think that's something else.
Okay, gotcha. It sounds like blocking though, and you're good at blocking, so I think I'm kind of there.
Yes, protection.
Yeah,
There you go. Zion, what are some of your other hobbies? Like what TV shows and movies are you watching? I mean, I know you used to play golf and play piano, but what are some of your other hobbies?
So I'll start with the TV show thing. So I've been watching the Moon Knight
I knew you were going to
show
say that.
on Marvel.
How
I
is
mean
it?
Disney, and I haven't finished it yet.
Okay.
I've only watched 3 episodes. I'm kind of bad with keeping up with shows and stuff like that, but I've been watching that. I
Do you
love
recommend it?
NCIS. I've been binging NCIS. I'm on like season 8, so I've been watching that. And then I'm thinking of watching the show Suits.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I think it's about like the two lawyers. They're lawyers, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of watching that. Those are really like what I've been watching right now. But other than that, I like movies. I don't really like, you know, movies per se. Like I'm not a big movie buff. Like I rank them and all that.
Yeah.
I like the experience of going to the movies because it's I did it a lot as a kid, and it's like an experience where I can like go to the theater and kind of shut my mind off and relax a little bit. And I'm a little bit into gaming. I'm mostly like a Madden 2K type of guy, but I love Skyrim too, and like those type of games. But outside of that, football is really the only other thing that I focus on in my life.
Well, if you want a golf challenge, Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are probably the best on the team. If you want a Madden challenge, Derwin James is supposed to
Mm.
be like this godly like Madden player that nobody can beat. Like last year, he had a foot injury which he couldn't play the whole season back in 2020,
Mhm.
and he did this whole Madden tournament against like Quavo, Snoop Dogg. Like he played all these people, and he just blew them out like 52-0. Like he was just blowing them out. So
Yeah,
Derwin might be your best bet into a good Madden challenge.
yeah, he might be on another level, but we'll see.
That'll be a good one. But
I'm
Zion, what
more of
what?
like a franchise type of guy. Like
Oh,
I'll
okay,
like, put the team together and like relocate a team to like another state
City.
or
Okay.
city or like there was one team I relocated to like England,
Oh,
and like
Wow.
really?
you can like restructure the team and draft your guys and stuff, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot more fun than just playing Ultimate Team or whatever. And that's just my opinion. But
Mhm.
Zion, what type of player are the Chargers getting? What are some of your strengths, and what do you know about your new teammates?
I think the biggest strength for me is just my hardworking ability. Like I'm someone who, believes that if you work hard at anything, you can really see yourself grow and develop. I'm someone who's really just dedicated to the game, and I love football. And in terms of what I've heard about my teammates, I've heard just a lot of good things in terms of the culture of the team and what the Chargers are trying to build. And I'm excited to meet them formally. And I just know the potential that this team has, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Zion, speaking of strength, it sounds like that is your strength, being strong. I think the Chargers tweeted out your video at the combine where you cranked out 32 reps on the bench press. You did it barefoot. I think you were the most among the linemen who participated. But how was that experience at the combine? And I guess tell us kind of your technique of going barefoot on the bench press.
So I go barefoot usually when I lift, just to train my feet. It helps me feel in control, just having my feet in contact with the ground when I do different movements. And it helps me when I go out on the field. And just in terms of my bench press, um, Exos did a good job of teaching us different techniques that we should follow, you know, like our first wave and then our second wave, how we should plan out going through the 225 test. And that really helped me as well. And, the combine experience in general was just really surreal. It was the first year that they had everything in the same day, the bench and everything else. And, it kind of felt like a blur at the end of the day. You went out and you bench, but literally, like my bench was probably like, I mean, I did 30 something reps, but how long really was I on the bench? Like probably a minute and a half or so, maybe a minute. So it really like flashes by, and at the end of the day, you're done with everything, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just finished performing at the combine.
And like, wow, that was it. And then a bunch of interviews after that, I'm assuming.
Um, No, not really. I had one interview afterwards, but really I was so spent after the combine. Just you're mentally and physically tired because it's a long week. Because not only do you have the on the field stuff, but you have medicals and meetings with these teams and a lot of that type of thing. you're up early, you're waiting, and it's like a hurry up and wait type of situation. So afterwards, I went and ate with my family and my agent, and then I crashed and probably slept like 12 hours. So
Well deserved, Zion. I'm guessing for the whole kind of experience, and part of your story. It's a little crazy that like we mentioned, you got pushed by a bus driver to try for football, and you mentioned that I think you had to play against Chase Young as a right tackle in high school. How was that kind of tussle with Chase Young when you're starting out football so early?
I will say he was on the left side most of the time.
Okay.
It was him and Darisaw going going back and forth. But my matchup was against another guy, which was tough for me because this guy was a DN and he was like 265 pounds in high school, and I was 225. So it was like I was just straining and the whole game, just trying to move him a few inches because I'm 225. So that was definitely uh, like a experience for me because I'd say in high school with me being undersized, a lot of I had to fall back a lot on technique and just effort and just trying to do just enough. And I think that mentality in terms of giving my all and straining has helped me just going into college and even till now.
Zion, you mentioned that you'd never been to LA before, you'd never been to Vegas. You had been to San Diego though before. That's
Yep.
where I'm originally from. But since you've been to San Diego, how's your Espanol?
So I did take a Spanish in high school, but then when I got to college, my language I took was Mandarin Chinese, and I took
Wow.
3 semesters of that. And don't ask me how much I know because I could probably string together basic sentences. But the last time I took a Mandarin Chinese class was in 2018 in the fall.
Oh wow.
A long time ago.
So no Espanol for you?
No.
What
But
what do
no, I'm open to it. I'm gonna try to pick
yeah.
some things up and learn. Yeah.
Just I mean taco does that kind of excite you about coming to LA, it being so diverse that you get to try like different kinds of like food and stuff like that?
Absolutely. That was one of the things I really liked about Boston because it's very diverse in different parts there, and you get tons of different foods and cultures and people coming from all over the world. And I'm very excited to experience that in LA.
Well, living in right now in South Bend, I can tell you the Mexican food here and the Mexican food in
Oh,
California is completely different.
I'm
So
sure.
you're gonna experience something else. But Zion, you've spoken about how important your mom is.
Mhm.
And obviously she's a single mother, worked hard to get you to this point. Mother's Day's coming up. Are we getting mom a little something special, or are we what are we getting mom?
We got to, but I can't, she's upstairs right now. I can't really disclose, but just know that it will be something nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Gilbert, I mean, what more can we say about Zion? That was pretty interesting talking about everything and really getting to know him. And I really do feel like he understands what he's coming into. He's coming into a team that feels like they're starting to kind of make a push and hopefully can be a playoff team. And I think he understands exactly what he's coming into.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's why the Chargers got him because he's ready to go. It's crazy. I wrote about it in my story. Check it out, the OC Register, about how he just started playing football 7 years ago. He was a golfer, and somehow he became the most ready NFL guard in the draft. So he's definitely smart. He has strength. We asked him about the bench press and all that at the combine. So yeah, I think the Chargers got a good one there.
Who you got in golf, him or Herbert?
Well, he said he hasn't played in a while, and you see Herbert always out there on the link. So I think it might be Herbert, but yeah, we'll see. That'll be a good one.
Yep, it'll be a good one. But moving on, this weekend, Real Madrid winning their
Well,
their
thank you.
35th La Liga title. That's what we're talking about next, right, Gilbert?
No, Fernando, at this point,
No,
no, you're just really trying too hard. I told you
look at
October
that.
when the World Cup. And sorry for the listeners out there. Fernando's pushing
Okay,
soccer.
can I show you one soccer thing?
I don't care what are they doing? They're just celebrating.
Okay, no, well, okay, listen to this. So Trabzonspor, it's a Turkish team, right? They hadn't won their league in 38 years. So this was their celebration after winning their league. Look at this. Hold on, I'll put mute because I don't want it to drown out. Look at all those light. Look at so it's basically like it's outside and there's like people outside and it's like literally. I think they said the whole city was out to celebrate this. Like, look at that, Gilbert. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it looks cool, but let's move on, Fernando. I'm tired of soccer already.
Look at that. That's pretty. Look at the lights. That's pretty awesome.
I guess.
All right. Well, obviously, we're not going to talk soccer until later, but so obviously we have to talk about my bad about Canelo. Canelo's up this weekend, Gilbert. There's been a lot of weird talk as of late. I'm going to tell you real quick. I feel like the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight really opened up a can of worms that we're still paying for today. I don't know if you saw this, but I mean, we'll get to the fight real quick. But Canelo was exchanging, and you're gonna have to help me with his name, Gilbert, because I may butcher it. He was going back and forth with Kamaru Usman. Oh, with Usman, he was going back and forth with Usman, and like guys were calling him a chicken, and obviously Canelo responds the most Canelo way possible. But obviously, I mean, and you know it's funny, and you're gonna be like, oh, you hit it again. But Dana White today was on Pat McAfee's show, and he said that he's not gonna do any of these. Like he doesn't want these crossovers. That it's a waste of money, a waste of this, a waste of that. He just feels like it's a complete joke. He's like the Mayweather and McGregor that made money. He's like that's why it made sense to do that fight. I just feel like these are kind of ridiculous, don't you think?
Yeah, I see it. I roll my eyes and I keep scrolling. Like I don't want to see this. Like Kamaru Usman, you're great at what you do in the UFC, but you have no chance in the ring against Canelo Alvarez, and that's why boxers are the ones that are smart. They're making the money because they're not going over to the UFC to try MMA. They know they're not gonna win. You bring them to their world, but it's just pointless at this point. They're gonna, whoever is doing the strength of UFC or your own rules, you're gonna win. So no, don't stop. Usman, go somewhere else. I know you're not getting paid well over there by your buddy Dana White. They're not.
And that's what they're saying. My bad. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's what people are like. If I scroll more through this, people are like, dude, you just called boxing like broken and saying that they're basically boxing's dead, but yet you want to make that boxing paycheck. Like we know you're not making all that much money. Yeah, exactly, dude. You know it's funny. Even Jake Paul came out and defended Canelo. And he's like, he told Usman to get the hell out of here. And he's like, get out of here. You just want the payday, this and that. And that's why I was like, wow, Jake Paul and Canelo on
look at Jake Paul fighting for boxing honor and rights. And by the way, I'm gonna give credit to Jake Paul here because he's been kind of a promoter for Amanda Serrano.
Oh yeah,
and I gotta watch this women's fight. I heard great things about it on social media. I didn't get a chance because of the draft, but supposedly Serrano and Katie Taylor had a great fight, undisputed title, lightweight women's fight. So I need to check it out. And Jake Paul was out there hyping it up, so good for him.
So Gilbert, this Saturday, what like you have this match, Canelo and is fighting this weekend. What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you're asking me so I could think about it because I've been on NFL draft mode and I think I'm gonna write a story about it in the paper Friday. So
my bad, Dimitri Bivol. Sorry,
Bivol. Yeah, I get the head going, but I don't know. At this point, it's kind of like
from what I was reading, the guy is 4 inches taller. He has a couple of more inches of reach, but I mean, Canelo's been in that already.
Yeah, we've seen that with Sergey Kovalev. We saw it with the Smith guy. He's fought, light heavyweights. Like we already know Canelo could fight with bigger guys in the light heavyweight division. So, yeah, maybe Bivol better than those guys, but I've never really seen Bivol tested. I don't know. Can he compete? So, yeah, maybe a nice little challenge. But every time we say that, we said with Billy Joe Saunders, hey, he might be kind of this slick kind of boxer. Might give him a challenge. Yeah, maybe for 4 or 5, 6 rounds, and then kind of breaks him down to the body, goes for the knockout. Maybe he won't get a knockout against this big guy. So, but I'm not interested in it. But the way I'm gonna write is like, okay, what's next for Canelo? He's like only 32 years old. Like you're gonna fight an little Triple G. We don't care about that. So maybe it could be like what you said, Fernando. Go back home and have a homecoming fight in Mexico. Get some appeal that way, or he's a free agent pretty much. So go. I think the next guys he could fight is a Jamal Charlo or a Dave Benavidez. Those guys are not well known, but imagine fighting another Mexican fighter in Dave Benavidez. That could give you maybe be the guy who helps these guys become names. So those are the two guys I see on the radar. But right now it's kind of like it's Cinco de Mayo. It's cool. I like tradition. I like having Canelo fight, but I'm like the rivalry. There's no fighter there. There's no competition. There's not a crazy appeal right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I just like at 32 years old, like I mean, when Mayweather was 32, he could look around and fight whoever he wanted, and here it's like Canelo's 32 and he's looking around and kind of like crap, like who can I pull up? You know what though? I'll give him credit because every time I think he's the one that hypes this up a little bit more than anybody else. But I feel like every time we see Canelo fight somebody, we're like, oh, you know what? Maybe this is the guy that's gonna do well against Canelo because of X, Y, and Z. And usually those guys end up getting picked apart by Canelo, and by the 6th, 7th round, you can already tell he's down and out and everything. So I'm really interested to see kind of how this fight goes with Canelo. But I just feel like it's gonna be business as usual. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna go in there, and Ricky Hatton said it this a couple of days ago. I don't see anyone that can beat Canelo, and I really don't. I just don't see anybody out there that can even scar him even a little bit, just because he's really done it. He's really done it all.
Yeah, but whatever. Let's get there. I love having boxing on Cinco de Mayo. It's a weekend. It's a good holiday, for us combat sports and lovers, and also Mexicans. So I love that, especially having a Mexican fight in it. It's pretty cool. But whatever. Let's go to September. Convince me that Triple G has a chance, and I'll have fun with that fight.
So what are you gonna watch this weekend? Do you feel like boxing is gonna wait for UFC to go through and have their fight like they have in the past, or do you feel like they're gonna? What do you think?
I hope not, because this is another kind of bone I need to pick, because the Zone, which is supposed to kill pay-per-view in boxing and make it affordable for $20, they're charging $70 on the Zone pay-per-view all of a sudden. After 3 or 4 years ago, they're trying to tell us something else. So I'm not happy about that. Canelo, on the Zone pay-per-view. So if you're gonna make people pay $70 to watch Canelo, you better not stall for UFC and start the freaking fight, okay? Especially for my people on the East Coast.
I mean, thank
Like
you,
you.
but UFC 74. I like the card, Gilbert. This is a pretty good card, and I haven't even gone all the way down, but you're basically starting it off with, well, I don't know any of these.
Yeah, Cowboy in the bottom, and he's an entertaining fighter.
Who?
Cowboy Cerrone. He's in the bottom.
Oh yeah. So Donald's gonna be, he's gonna give you a good fight, but then you come up here. Michael Chandler, I mean, I think we saw him when we were in not saw him physically, but like saw his fight when we were in Philly. Michael Chandler fought that night. Now he's going up against Tony Ferguson. That should be a really good fight.
Yeah, no, I actually, obviously because I'm a boxing guy, and when Canelo fights, I go more that way. But you're showing me this card here, and it's pretty, entertaining. I want to call it stacked, but there's a lot of good fighters. Yeah, that Kukui, Tony Ferguson, and Michael Chandler should be entertaining.
You know he did it on purpose, though, right? Dana White to compete against
he knows there's
he stacked the card.
Yeah, he knows he's competing with Canelo, so yeah, he doesn't have like his biggest name fighter, but yeah, it's pretty. If you know UFC, these guys they're all bangers, especially Justin Gaethje up top.
Yeah,
we all like watching Thug Rose, and Charles Oliveira is pretty good, so that should be entertaining.
How much do you know about Carla?
Not much, but we'll see. Rose is pretty good, but she's been beaten before.
Yeah, so I mean, Thug Rose is literally the last 2 fights she had against
Wei Lee, I think.
Wei Lee. And there were two good fights. One of them I saw at your, I watched both of them with you. One of them I saw at your place when she won the championship, and the other one I saw we saw together in Philly. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. I think all 3 fights are gonna be mega fights, but Gilbert, I really do think that boxing's gonna wait. I think they're like, I know. Well, actually, the reason why they used to wait is because the Zone is only $20, so people would wait, buy this pay-per-view, then jump over. So maybe people will be on with the Canelo the whole way, but I think this is going to really split people up into what they're going to want to watch.
Yeah, it kind of happens often, I feel like, but should be a good weekend though, or good Saturday for combat sports at least.
I'm excited for it. Next we have WrestleMania Backlash. Gilbert, just real quick, I just want to go through it real quick. 3 matches that I'm excited for: Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Obviously, the American Dream the American Nightmare is back. Seth Rollins on Monday was kind of an ass, Gilbert. He was talking crap about Dusty Rhodes. Obviously, Dusty Rhodes passed away a couple of years ago, so that's a bad look. But Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes are going to go at it again. I think Cody Rhodes is going to ascend into that championship view pretty soon. But man, that's going to be a good matchup. Then next, another match that I think AJ Styles versus Edge. You know, Edge has kind of gone edgier, pun intended. And I feel like that's going to be a good matchup. Edge versus AJ Styles. I just feel like they have good chemistry, and I think it's going to be a good match. The last one, Gilbert, is so it was supposed to be the Bloodline, which is the Usos versus RK Bro to unify the tag team championships. And Roman Reigns was supposed to fight Drew McIntyre in a championship match. But Roman Reigns got hurt before WrestleMania, and he's still hurt right now. So they threw it all together, and they made it a 6-man tag team match. So it's Roman and the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. So that'll be a good matchup. Have you acknowledged him?
No, I have not, Fernando.
I
usually check out after WrestleMania, so you're giving me an update right now.
Well, you need to acknowledge him. You know, it's funny. He was in North Carolina. He's like, he just looks and goes, North Carolina, acknowledge me, and like the whole crowd just goes nuts. Like, it's just hilarious the way he does that. But it should. I mean, I think it's gonna be. Usually they have a pretty good pay-per-view lined up after WrestleMania. This one's gonna be a little whack. The one I'm excited for is in a month. It's gonna be Money in the Bank in Las Vegas. So that'll be an interesting pay-per-view. But yeah, that's basically all I have right now for
I'm gonna start naming these 2 minutes with Fernando talking wrestling.
I mean, I have to be quick with it because I know some people aren't big fans.
You wasted your 2 minutes on soccer, so that's your fault.
No. I don't want to give people too much of it because I know some people aren't big fans of it, but I'm a big fan, and I mean, I could see myself covering wrestling or doing something like that just because I feel like it's a fun atmosphere. But now, speaking of fun, Gilbert, let's go to your boy Dan and Dago and see what he's got cooking.
All right.
Well, look at that. What have we got over here? Look at the Compas. They're mixing it up today. NFL draft talk, an interview with Zion Johnson, and a combat sports segment. And Fernando even got some football talk in there. What's going on? Keep fighting the good fight, my saint brother. Don't let Gilberto bring you down with this power of negativity. You have to be the power of positivity. Now let's get to some juicy, fast and furious drama. What's going on with the family? Let's get to Una Más.
Good stuff, Gilbert, from Dan and Dago. Gilbert, there's a lot of controversy going on right now. I don't know what in the Fast 10 is going on. I don't know if you heard about this, but their director quit. Justin Lin, he quit a couple of days ago. He's done the last 5 Fast and Furious movies. He ended up quitting a couple of days ago. And the reason is because Vin Diesel shows up late on set. He doesn't know his lines, and he shows up out of shape. So there's a lot of beef. And then, so this was another beef too, Gilbert, that Vin Diesel and Universal read the script and they tried to change it after they started production and they were going to start doing stuff, that they changed the script. So basically one of the script changes, Gilbert, was Mia Toretto was not going to be in this 10th movie. And Vin Diesel said, how are we not going to have Mia in there? And Justin's, or whoever it was, said, well, if we don't have Paul Walker, like, how are we going to have her? Like, what excuse are you going to be making? Like, oh, he's with the kids? Like, that excuse you already used for the ninth movie. How are you going to use it here? But watch this video, Gilbert. This is one of the cringiest things you'll see today. This was a couple of days ago before when they started shooting Fast 10. But watch this video from Vin Diesel's Instagram account.
Week 1. Just finished week 1.
How does it feel?
Feels like the beginning of an epic ending.
Okay.
Is it fair to say that this will be the best one?
In my heart, yes.
What was going on? Looks like Vin Diesel was drunk, and you could tell that the director was pulling a Magic Johnson, like, I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah, he looked a little uncomfortable in that scene. So I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there's a big mess. Justin Lin is supposed to stay on as a producer and to help out, but that he's not going to direct it. So I don't know how all this is going to go, but I'm really interested to see kind of what they're going to come up with, but it's not looking good. And then Gilbert, my heart was broken because I was reading and I was like, first of all, I saw that Brie Larson's going to be in this. I'm not a big Brie Larson guy. I think as Captain Marvel, I thought she was average, if not below average. I don't like her as an actress. I think she's kind of lame. It's kind of like when Ronda Rousey came to WWE. I was like, really? Like, we're going to have that?
Another shot at Ronda 3 weeks in a row.
Well, I'm not a big fan. So I'm like, really? And then I get this news that John Cena was on Good Morning America, and they asked him, are you going to be in the movie? And he said, I really hope you see me in Fast 10. I know they're gearing up production, and I would love nothing more than to return to the franchise. I'm a big fan myself. Gilbert, if John Cena doesn't return to the 10th movie, then why in the bleep did he come out in the 9th one for if he's not going to be a big part of the 10th? Like, what is this? Like, I just don't get it. So you're going to put Brie Larson in, and I hope she's not part of the family, because then that's going to really irritate me. But then on top of that, like, you have Jason Momoa as the bad guy. I don't know. I really don't. I'm really not. I don't know what they're going to do with this, but it just seems like we're in for a roller coaster, and this is going to be a weird movie. And supposedly it's the ending of the franchise. Supposedly, I don't believe it. I think they're going to see how much money they can make off of this one and then see if they can continue with it. I think they can continue with it as long as they want. But
I hope it's the ending, Fernando, and I know it's the end of this show. I'll make it quick, but I'm going to say, yes, my guy, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was proven right. He's not going back to that toxic franchise, Fast and Furious. He doesn't need to be around Vin Diesel. Get out of there. John Cena,
right.
Future Run 2.
Mandalorian 85 on Twitter actually said it. He's like, Gilbert was right. It's Dwayne The Rock. You know, it's funny. This news came out on The Rock's birthday, so that was pretty funny in and of itself. But
happy birthday, Dwayne.
Happy birthday to The Rock. So it was just, I don't know what's going to happen with the franchise, but the 10th movie is looking like it's a little bit on, it's not fearing well. But Gilbert, you know what? We got a lot of work to do. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We have some more fun stuff coming up. Gilbert and I are always up to something, trying to get you guys the best content. So we're gonna get some good stuff coming up. For right now, ¿sabes qué? Ya vámonos.
Ya nos vamos, pues vámonos.